Welcome back, Holistic Soul Sisters. I'm Mandy Rose. I'm your holistic health coach, spiritual mentor, and astrologer. And in today's video, we're going to talk all about Neptune in retrograde. Most people don't know who Neptune is, so I'm going to make sure to give you guys all the details on that. We're going to talk about Pisces, the zodiac sign that he is retrograding through. Also going to talk about some do's and don'ts that you should and should not be doing over this 5-month period. When Neptune goes retrograde, it's time to take off the rose-colored glasses and get with reality. Let's dive more into that in this video. So let's start out with some basics around this Neptune retrograde. Neptune is in the zodiac sign of Pisces, and he's going to be retrograding starting on June 25th all the way until December 1st. It's a pretty long retrograde period, and that's because Neptune is one of the slowest moving planets. And he's going to be retrograding from 23 degrees of Pisces only back to 20 degrees of Pisces. It's not a great distance that he's going to be moving. Most people don't know about Neptune, and that's because he is a planet that is so far away from us on Earth that we don't actually feel the effects of him all the time. He is what we call a transpersonal planet. That's because, like I said, he's a very slow moving planet. So he will stay in a zodiac sign for a long time before he shifts into the next zodiac. And that means an entire generation of people are all born with Neptune in that zodiac sign. Unlike the moon, which changes every 2.5 days, unlike the sun, which changes zodiac signs once a month, and Neptune will be in this zodiac sign of Pisces until 2026. So he is teaching us a lot about these lessons surrounding Pisces. Now, the thing that we need to realize about Neptune is because he is a transpersonal planet and he's so far away from us on planet Earth, he's what we consider a planet that rules our subconscious. The planets that we can see from the naked eye affect us more on a physiological and mental level. But the planets that are so far away that we can't see with the naked eye are what we call subconscious planets. So we have Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus that fall in that category. And Neptune kind of dances between the subconscious and the conscious mind. He's always waving in and out. So at some times we will feel his energy more on a conscious level. And then in other seasons, we don't really feel his effects very much at all. Now, another thing about Neptune in this retrograde period is that he is doing a retrograde, like I said, in the zodiac sign of Pisces. Jupiter is also retrograding in the zodiac sign of Pisces. So after June 25th, all the way until October, when Jupiter comes out of retrograde, we are going to have 2 planets teaching us lessons, asking us to go retrograde, reevaluate, reassess, recommit, reanalyze, redo something in our lives around the zodiac sign of Pisces. So we're going to talk more about what Pisces rules, but keep that in mind that we have 2 planets that are really trying to hit home the same lesson in different ways. And then lastly, before we dive into more specifics, I want you guys to be aware that Neptune has been having a lot of conversations, a lot of squares. If you've been following my videos, you hear me talk a lot about squares, and that's when 2 planets are at a 90-degree angle to each other in the sky. And squares are very tough conversations. They're hard energies. It's 2 people kind of bumping heads and saying, I think it should be like this, and this person saying, no, make sure you do it this way. Neptune's been having a lot of conversations and squares with the planet Mercury. And Mercury just came out of retrograde when Neptune decided to start his retrograde. So Mercury is about the logical mind. It's about making conscious decisions, about analyzing the facts. And Neptune is the exact opposite. Neptune is all about free flow and the subconscious mind and loves to live in fantasy land. So we've been probably feeling this energy over the past 2 months where one side of us wants to live in fantasy land and have a great time and just live our best life. And then we have this other part of us that's our logical mind saying, ooh, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. The facts don't line up. I'm not sure. So we are going to analyze that during this retrograde period and come to a conclusion about those topics. So let's start out with Neptune. Who is Neptune? What does he represent? How is he a life coach to us? And what themes is he always bringing to our lives? So Neptune is all about living in fantasy land. He's all about spirituality and wearing our rose-colored glasses and illusion and fantasy. He's such a dreamer. He's that friend and that life coach to us that makes us believe that literally anything is possible. Go into your wildest dreams. Create your wildest fantasies. Neptune is like walking into an amusement park and indulging in your wildest dreams and fantasies. And because he rules our subconscious, he also rules our psyche, the part of us that we can't really just lay a finger on, that 5D, that higher self. He rules the spiritual part of us, our inner knowing and our intuition. And because of this, he also rules illusion and deception and wearing those rose-colored glasses where we don't quite want to admit that something is true. We don't want to live in reality. We just want to have a good time and experience all the best things that life has to offer with no consequences. That is Neptune. And because he is the slowest moving planet, he actually makes us forget time. It's like, imagine going out drinking with your best friends at a pool party, and you start at noon when the sun is high in the sky, and you're just listening to the music and you're hanging out in your swimsuits, and it's like midsummer vibes, and you're having the best time with no consequences, and all of a sudden you look over and the sun is setting, and you're like, how did that go by so fast? That is Neptune vibes. Slow moving, losing track of time, just living that fantasy life. So when Neptune goes retrograde, it's time for us to get with reality. When Neptune turns around and goes back over the part of the sky that he was just doing this la, life is great, rose-colored glasses, nothing is wrong, and he has to go backtrack over that part of the sky, it's like, oops, I gotta come to terms with reality. I gotta take off the rose-colored glasses. I have to get with the program of life. So when Neptune goes retrograde, it's like life is the shot of alcohol and you don't get a chaser. Now, like I said, he is retrograding in the zodiac sign of Pisces. He's at home here in Pisces. He loves being here. It's home field advantage. So all of his missions, all of his themes, all of his lessons, everything that he's trying to teach us all the time can be amplified when he's in the zodiac sign of Pisces. So what does Pisces rule? Pisces is represented by the fish. And there's two fish in that zodiac symbol. And anything in astrology or numerology that has a 2 is represented by choices. We have choices. Pisces is the 12th and the final zodiac sign of the astrological year, of the astrological wheel that you can see behind me. So that means ending of a cycle, ending of decisions, making that final decision, our karma coming back around. And Pisces deals with the spiritual. It's that higher self, that 5th dimension, connecting with other worlds, our spirit guides, our other dimensions. That is what Pisces rules. Now, like I said earlier, Neptune is going to be here in Pisces until 2026. And this signifies on planet Earth that we are all going through this spiritual awakening. It's a time where Neptune has home field advantage. He loves being home here in Pisces. He's the ruler of Pisces. So all the lessons and things that he's trying to teach us on a regular basis are amplified when he's home here in Pisces. So we can feel collectively. And if you look around just on social media, popular conversations, even within our own world, we feel like there's this massive spiritual awakening happening on planet Earth. People are no longer interested in the material things and the money and the success. They want to be spiritually awake. They want to feel connected with themselves. They want to feel grounded. The world of psychic and oracle cards and crystals and understanding vibrations and energy is becoming a very popular topic. This is the Great Awakening because Neptune is here in Pisces. And he's going to be here for a while. So expect this to get more and more amplified until 2026 when he leaves Pisces, starts back over at the beginning of the astrological wheel in Aries, teaching us a whole nother chapter of lessons when it comes to our illusions and our deception and our fantasies. But for now, we're going to focus on Pisces themes. So here are some things that Pisces rules. Pisces rules our dreams, our spirituality. It's about going with the flow and being fluid. It's being timeless. It's about ruling the higher dimensions, the 5D. It rules our emotions, our empathy, our intuition. It's a water sign, so it heightens our emotions. And like I said, it's connected to our karma and our dreams and what we want to happen and the ending of a cycle. Pisces also rules the arts. It's very creative. So it rules music and painting and drawing. So Neptune being all about fantasy and illusion and just creating things of our dreams. When he's here in Pisces, this is when you can see beautiful pieces of art come to life. This is when you can see artists shining. This is that energy, that artistic, creative energy. So harness that and feel that. Now, the one downfall of Pisces is because it deals with this fantasy and the spiritual, and it can be very deep and emotional. It rules our addictions. It rules escapism behavior, this wanting to get out of the reality of life and escape using drugs, alcohol, money, sex, any of those escapist behaviors are ruled by Pisces. So that is a theme that is going to come up during this Neptune retrograde. And Neptune is going to teach us some lessons around this. So be prepared for that. So there's this free-flowing energy that we feel when Neptune is in Pisces. It's kind of just go with the flow. Time doesn't exist. We don't need to push against the grain. We don't have anywhere to go. We don't have to get to success. We just need to be. And that's part of the spiritual aspect of Pisces and Neptune. When you're spiritual, it's just go with the flow and see how it pans out. And we don't have to rush anything. So let's dive into what we can anticipate during a Neptune retrograde. Now, like I said, Neptune is a slower moving planet. So we actually spend 40% of our life in a Neptune retrograde. He goes forward for about 7 months and then he backtracks for about 5 months. And this pattern continues. And what it means is that he moves forward, teaching us a lot of lessons about our truth and our illusions and our fantasies and our dreams and coming to terms with reality. But then he goes backwards to give us a break. Now, what it means is that when Neptune is in its forward motion, he is allowing us to dream so big. Wear those rose-colored glasses. Don't be subjected to the harshness of the world and all the rules and what you should be doing and this isn't possible and limitations. He's allowing us to put on those rose-colored glasses and just dream really, really big. Fantasize, create things with your mind that anything is possible. However, we can't live in that all the time or we would get nothing done. We wouldn't have rules. We wouldn't have laws. We wouldn't have any kind of structure or discipline. So 40% of the time, he allows us and gives us the energy to create and dream. And then when he goes retrograde, it's like, oh, we got to stop and we got to come to terms with reality. We got to decipher what's a dream and what's actually possible. We got to take a minute to decipher where are we deceiving ourselves? Where are we blocking our own dreams? We have to go inwards and do some reevaluating. Retrogrades are all about reassessing and restructuring and reanalyzing. Anything with the word re has to do with retrogrades. So he's helping us dissolve illusions, this illusion that we create in our mind. And sometimes the illusions are self-limiting beliefs. Sometimes we can have these illusions like, oh, it's never going to be possible for me to move to Bali. There's no way. I dream of it, but it's never going to be possible. So when Neptune goes retrograde, a lot of these illusions will dissolve. We're going to get back into reality and go logically, how can I move to Bali? Now I got to structure my life. I got to reanalyze what am I doing today that's going to help me get to that dream so that I can keep dreaming and keep fantasizing, so I can keep believing that it's possible for me. But right now during a retrograde, we have to dissolve a lot of the illusions in our life. Sometimes the illusions are related to our relationships. Maybe you've been fantasizing your relationship to be greater than it actually is. And during a Neptune retrograde, you might feel these illusions kind of dissolving and you coming to terms with reality, taking off those rose-colored glasses and saying, you know what? Maybe this isn't serving me. Maybe I'm not seeing this person for who they are. And I'm just creating a vision of them in my mind that's not actually real, right? Putting people on a pedestal when it's just the projection of your own wishes of who they are. So during a Neptune retrograde, because it rules that subconscious mind and our psyche and our spirituality, we start to wake up to these deeper parts of ourselves, our truths that we haven't been recognizing. Another thing that happens during a Neptune retrograde is we start to wake up to our spirituality. A lot of times we're just go, 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 and we don't really assess our spiritual part. We don't make time for it. We don't prioritize it. So during a Neptune retrograde, we really have to go inward and connect to that spiritual part of us. So if you don't have a spiritual practice yet, you're going to feel really inspired to begin one at this time. And that can mean whatever for you. It can mean going to church. It could mean coming into a community group of women where you do moon circles. It could be using oracle oracle decks or pendulums or crystals. It could do with just you journaling. Whatever your spiritual practice is to help you connect to your intuition, connect to a source above you, connect into something that's greater than yourself will help you during this Neptune retrograde. And oftentimes, if you already have a spiritual practice, it's going to feel a little harsh. It's going to feel like you don't even want to engage. You might feel a little disconnected from your intuition. You might feel disconnected to your spirit guides. You might feel disconnected even from your soulmates or your twin flames or that piece of you that is just spiritual in general. So if you are someone who already has a strong spiritual practice and you feel a little disconnected and you just feel like reality is really harsh, like I said, we're going to feel like life is a shot of alcohol, but we don't get a chaser during a Neptune retrograde. So be patient with yourself, go with the flow, just do what you can. And Neptune is bringing us to reality. So just embrace that. Don't worry, he's going to go direct for another 7 months after December, allowing us to dream and create and fantasize all over again. But for now, we got to take off those rose-colored glasses and get with the program. So we're going to end this video with some do's and don'ts that you should be doing during this Neptune retrograde. So we're going to start off with the do's. Number 1, do be aware of how you might be deceiving yourself or deceiving others. Neptune rules deception. So where are you deceiving yourself? Like I said, where are you not seeing the truth of your life? Where are you not admitting that you're deceiving yourself? Are you financially deceiving yourself, thinking that you have more money in the bank than you actually do because you don't want to deal with the harsh reality of checking your bank account and creating a budget? Are you deceiving yourself in your love life? Like I mentioned, maybe not seeing someone because you've been noticing them with rose-colored glasses. How have you been deceiving others? Have you not been showing up authentically and truthfully in your relationships? Have you been hiding a piece of yourself? Have you been hiding a piece of your truth? So do be aware during a Neptune retrograde and assess, reassess, retrograde, reanalyze. Where might you be deceiving yourself and others? Number 2, do cultivate your spiritual practice or maintain your routine. This is going to help you be grounded and to tap into that intuitive nature as you're making decisions, as you're learning these harsh lessons during a Neptune retrograde. And number 3, do review the history of your life. This is a great opportunity to go inward and do some inventory, right? Because deception, illusion, our truth, our fantasy, we can sometimes look back on the past of our life with a lot of deception. We can tell ourselves it was better than it actually was, right? Sometimes when you break up, you only remember the good parts. And sometimes we can tell ourselves that it was really, really bad and over dramatize a portion of our life and hold on to it for too long. So this is a great opportunity to not be in that fantasy of what was and just to see it for what it is. So do take some inventory. I love reassessing my challenges that I've overcome, the lessons that I've learned, the skills and knowledge that I've gained. So do some journaling and inventory your past. Now for the don'ts. Number 1, don't use escapism behavior or indulge in addictions. Like I said, Pisces rules addictions and Neptune can feel a little harsh when he's retrograde, but you don't want to indulge and escape reality during this time. So be very careful with alcohol, drug use, spending a lot of money. Jupiter is retrograde right now, so you don't want to be spending a lot of money. If you haven't caught that video yet, make sure you check it out after this one because Jupiter rules our finances and he's retrograde, so we're not going to get a lot of financial abundance. And he's also in the zodiac sign of Pisces retrograding. So during a Neptune retrograde, it's reinforcing don't indulge, don't overindulge, and don't escape using money, drugs, alcohol, sex, other people, any of those things. So be careful about that. Number 2, don't participate in toxic people or toxic situations. This is really important because life is going to feel harsh enough. We're going to be recognizing a lot of things that we thought were true was just an illusion. We're going to be realizing a lot of ways that we've been deceiving ourselves and others. There's going to be a lot of fantasies that come crumbling down. There's going to be a lot of aha moments. So you're not going to want to add to this turmoil of energy by willingly participating in toxic people, toxic situations, toxic behaviors within yourself. So try to minimize that so you're not overwhelming yourself. And number 3, I feel like I don't need to repeat it, but I'm going to say it one more time. Don't escape reality. Get with your program, get on track with your truth. This is a perfect opportunity to do some inventorying on your finances, your home, your friends. Don't escape reality. When things come to you, handle them, Saturn is retrograde right now. Saturn is our tough love, karmic dad. When he is retrograde, he takes a hands-off approach and he wants to see if we are mature enough to make the right decisions so that he doesn't have to karmically teach us lessons. So this Neptune retrograde, dealing with reality and illusions, don't escape reality. When things happen, handle them, mature, put on your big girl pants, handle it and do it, and then you're going to be just fine. So I hope this overview of the Neptune retrograde in Pisces happening from June 25th all the way till December 1st helped you guys better understand what energy to prepare for. If you have your 2021 retrograde astrology journal, make sure you open it up, fill out your journal prompts. I do have the do's and don'ts in here as well, so make sure you check those out. If you haven't gotten your copy of the 2021 retrograde astrology journal, make sure you grab it in the link below. We have a lot of retrogrades happening right now and more to come. So go ahead and purchase one in the link below. If you guys have any questions for me, I link my email or catch me on social media at mandyrose.1111, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.